Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, Geek XX Chic, and it's time, guys. We're finally here. Season 2 of Wheel of Time is finally here. I have been looking forward to this show very much, and I've even rewatched the first season maybe a few times. Don't judge me. And I'm just really excited to jump into it. I actually have not watched the trailer for the season 2 yet. I meant to get around to it, but I was in the middle of moving, so it just didn't get around to it. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with coming in with fresh eyes, not necessarily seeing all the previews of what might be coming up in the season, but I know whatever it is probably going to be great, especially if it's a reflection of last season. So I am definitely excited to jump in. As far as recaps, not gonna lie, it's been a minute since I last rewatched the last episode, but I know that we basically ended on us discovering that Rand is in fact the one, and him deciding to go off on his own to deal with that. We know that Nynaeve and, oh gosh, name slipping out of my head, but Rand's girlfriend basically going off to train at the tower. And then we had Moraine, sorry. She apparently has lost her powers after an encounter with just a small fraction of our big bad's power. So her and, oh goodness, all these names. I'm sorry, it's all going to come back to me soon. It's been a long day. But yes, her and her soulbind there are going to stay together and figure out exactly what happened. But they also want to find out where Rand went, because they are very concerned about whether or not he's ready to actually take on the role that he needs to take on. And then we also had Matt go back through the portal. So he stayed behind, initially. So I know there's a new actor who's going to be playing his character now, so I'm very curious to see how they're going to start catching up his story, since unfortunately he didn't get a chance to end the way that writers probably wanted it to in season 1. And I'm forgetting Wolf Boy. Wolf Boy, I don't remember much changing with him outside of the fact that he started to realize that there was something very special about him. So yes, lots of things going on with many characters. Very excited to get into this episode. So without further ado, let's do that. But before I do, if this is your first time on my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. I react to shows like this as well as animes and a lot of other good stuff. So if you'd like to watch me do that, or just continue with me on this particular journey, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. That way you'll be notified when I upload again. And if you like this video, I'd also appreciate it if you showed some love to that like button, because it helps the girl out a lot. And the same goes for those of you who've been here before. Welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back. And hey, if you're not a subby already, please do join the fam. We're on a march to 10K, and I would love for you to be there with me. All right, that out of the way, guys, let's get into episode 1, which is called A Taste of Solitude, right about now. Little girl, don't you know that playing in the dark means death? Oh, don't touch that. Step back. Uh-oh. Oh, not Charlotte. Oh, thank God, that's a firm door.
Excuse me. We're in the middle of a meeting.
It's very serious business. Maybe you should tell him that there's Trollocs, because that's kind of a huge deal.
There's something outside.
Yes.
A monster, perhaps.
You're awfully calm about this? Enjoy frightening children? He's the guy from the cart. That was the guy from the cart.
Right or wrong?
Are you about to sacrifice this child?
What if he isn't evil? What if he isn't wrong?
He eats people.
Look at me. Do I look like a monster to you?
Yes, a moment, actually. Ew, no, don't like it.
What? You try.
No, I've got small hands. Fit right inside his mouth. Okay, great. Now I got a handful of drool. See, no. I'm all for like helping your children get over their fears, but maybe not with actual man-eating monsters. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail. Okay, I thought part of being one of these high priestesses type things means you don't do manual labor. Where's Lan? No one can accuse her of skipping leg day. Now, see, this would be fine, except for the fact for all that work to get the water to fill the bath, you still have to empty it after, which would get you all sweaty and dirty again. Oh, someone misses her weaves. I feel like they're going to come back, though. Anything? Anything? Not this time. I would imagine it feels a bit like having a piece of like a limb removed or something, right? Like something you've had your whole life and somewhat took for granted. I guess in her case, she wouldn't have taken it for granted, but still. Oh, hi, hi. Sorry. Oh, yeah, I forgot. He feels it too. That's right. Cut it away. Cut through the pain, Lan. Cut through it. Ooh, Daniel Henney. I don't know who to thank for this scene, but thanks and double thanks. Both grieving. You know what would make you feel better, Lan, is if you had your girlfriend.
Could you move to the left a little?
I agree.
It must be unbearable swinging your sword wearing such heavy woolen trousers.
I mean, she's saying what we're all thinking.
Still no word from Moraine about who they are, what news they bring?
Don't look at me. She doesn't tell me any more than she tells you.
He's like, I just get to feel all of her negative emotions. That's all. But I guess she's going through some stuff.
This one is from Ilya.
Send him in.
She said what she said.
Door.
Ooh. Talking to him like he's nothing but a servant. Moraine. You need to channel that anger elsewhere. You got a strut, girl. Oh, so she's the dish girl? Is that what this... Ew. Don't put your hand in there, I swear to God. Didn't she kind of do this kind of work back in her hometown too? To think you've come like that far, done everything you did last season, only to come back and still end up having to do dishes? I would be pissed.
But all we've done since we signed the Book of Novices is clean.
Being a novice is a rite of passage.
Maybe.
It builds.
Don't say character.
I have enough character.
Right? She's like, I've already worked hard my whole life.
By the end of today, each one of you will drink the water in your glass.
No, thanks, okay. That's okay. Dehydration's hot. It's really sexy. It's in right now.
With your left hand, pull threads of water from the moisture in the air or even this glass in front of you. Now weave them together.
To make mud? Oh, look at that purification process. Probably still tastes like chicken juice, though.
Why are your eyes open? You haven't even embraced the source.
So I can see when you're looming over me.
She's got trust issues.
I did try again.
Ooh. Breathe, Nynaeve. Yeah, they're like, we're gonna go over here.
You can either embrace what you are,
right?
or fear it. But you have 10 times that power, Nynaeve, whether you want it or not.
Oh, jealousy.
No one leaves today without drinking their glass of water. Now close your eyes.
I feel like you're underestimating how stubborn Nynaeve is. She would literally dehydrate herself. Oh, no. No, that's disgusting. That's literally my biggest phobia. I hate your... Oh, I don't even put my hands in dishwasher. Water.
You didn't say it had to be clean.
Yeah, she's horrified. She's horrified. So am I. Nynaeve. I want to call it badass, but I'm too disgusted.
Perhaps our beloved mistress of novices might make an exception, just this once.
A novice died in your care.
Ooh. And that's what it's all about.
And another false dragon has declared himself in Saldair.
They say he's even more powerful than Logain.
You can feel it. So, let me talk to her, at least.
Sadly, they did kind of bond on the whole road trip thing. They're both very ragey and blunt.
This is a mistake, sister.
We're running out of time. I don't really like her either, but...
Who's ever been hurt by a little talk?
I really do want to punch her in the face, though. She's a very punchable face. No shade to the actress, though. That just means she's doing a good job. Hey, what's up, wolf boy? The hair's growing out nicely.
Nynaeve and Egwene are all I have. And I ran.
Left us like a jerk.
And who knows where Matt is.
Yeah, who is? Where is Matt?
Sniffer, Lord Ingtar's hired. But I'm sure he's no match for you, Arsenal Messer.
Oh, yes, stroke that ego. Mm-hmm.
If you lot hadn't splashed across the stream like a herd of breastfed cattle, I'd be roasting his corpse on a spit.
Breastfed cattle? I mean, is there cattle that are fed any other way? Oh, you look scary. Very scary. Wait, does he have the same eyes as him when he's a wolf man? Maybe? Mm-hmm. Brethren. I wonder if he'll get to the point where he can like keep his eyes on all the time. Mm-hmm. Oh. Wait, so he can see the past? That's new.
There was a child who made it out.
But you already knew that. You two need to talk immediately.
We will bury the slaughtered and follow in the morning.
I guess if we've got time for burials. Talk, you two. Clearly, you both have the same eyes and stuff. Cousin, uncle, dad.
She's tired, she's hungry, she's angry, she's afraid. And now silence.
You don't strike me as a man who's afraid of a little silence.
I was about to say, it's not like your favorite sound, but I get it. She's being purposefully extra silent.
I'm not leaving.
Suit yourself. You are almost as stubborn as she is.
I was about to say, perfect match. She wouldn't leave you either. But I mean, if you did decide to leave, there is a really, gorgeous woman just sitting at a tower right now being equally stubborn. It looks like Lan's got a type when it comes to women. Super powerful, super stubborn. How much is that?
This is all I need.
Yeah, take your stupid broken stone. And also, she totally swindled you.
But the Heartstone...
Sea folk might be good at the game, Master Doman, but the Aes Sedai invented it.
Thanks for playing.
Serves me right, I suppose.
Yeah.
Spree's a riverboat.
Then stay to the shallows. But go. Now.
Yeah.
Here are 10 marks for provisions.
Yeah, if she's giving you money, it's serious. Go, my guy.
You got me wrapped up in, eh?
The wheel weaves as the wheel wheels, Master Doman.
Basically ain't my problem. Bye. Wouldn't it be funny if inside of there wasn't a poem? It was just like, haha, gotcha. Oh yeah, this is where Nynaeve's at. I like to hit people.
You'll be bonded to an Aes Sedai before you even become one.
I'm in no danger of becoming an Aes Sedai.
Oh.
The reason that brought you here in the first place.
Which is?
Different for everyone.
What was it for you?
I fell in love with the water.
And you?
I fell in love with an Aes Sedai.
Awkward.
If you can answer that one simple question. Why did you come here?
Oh. I thought I was like, why do we have to wear corsets? And why did you come, Nynaeve? You can tell yourself it's for the children, but... I'd be afraid to touch anything, too. I feel like if you put a blue light in that room, yeah, Jackson Pollock painting.
So you're probably focusing on the individual grains of dirt instead of a collective mass. You're trying to use hundreds of weaves instead of just 2.
That makes sense.
She's like, I'm kind of icked out by that first thing, so...
Nothing worthwhile is neat and tidy.
Or easy. Can I get a minute alone?
What are you doing here?
Oh, don't shut the door.
You've proven to be quite the disappointment.
Thank you. She was trying.
I want to win.
I hate to say it, but every time Egwene's used her power, it's been when she's basically had to do it. Like, very much do or die, fight or flight.
Warders are nothing more than glorified dogs.
How dare you call Lan a dog?
Like your precious land.
Okay.
Some fight their eyes
Okay.
forget before.
Okay, now it's time to pack her up. That's right. That's right. You talked about her man. That's a no.
My sisters would have you believe there's only one way to travel. One way to become an Aes Sedai. Not about silt or swords, but about power.
Yeah.
I want to see you become so powerful that no man, no woman will ever be able to take that away from you.
I mean, that part's cool, but the whole having to use your anger and focusing on power is not healthy at all. Because I'm looking at you, ma'am, and you look like a happy woman in the least. Now, in fairness, I know that Nynaeve does not channel in the gentle way anyways. Like, everything she does is explosive, but I feel like she needs a little control too. So, I don't know. I just know I don't like that girl.
All men deserve a proper burial.
If it was up to Uno, he would have left his corpse to the vultures.
Which is why I'm in charge and Uno is not.
He said what he said. Humanity first.
Shienarans sought revenge for all the wrongs done to us. There'd be no Shienarans left in the borderlands.
Exactly. Revenge is a very slippery slope, my friend.
And in return for all of that kindness, he brought the Trollocs to our door.
Well,
I'm scared that when we finally come face to face, I won't be able to stop myself.
Oh, really? Do tell?
Watching him bleed out in front of me like Lilith.
Ooh. Gonna wolf out? Full transformation? I mean, I'm not saying that you should wolf out, like, you know, for your conscience or whatever, but for me, visually. Yeah, revenge is a slippery slope, folks. You need to dig a grave for the person you're going after and for yourself, because you're gonna have to sacrifice a lot to get what you want.
How did it go?
Still silent treatment, huh? Ooh.
Don't smile at me. Shut me out. Drive me away. Don't you dare smile at me.
Ooh. Why is it really hot that he's like anger whispering? It's like he hasn't raised his voice, but it's kind of like just as bad and infinitely hotter. Oh. You made Moraine take a seat? That's the power of an anger whisper.
Have it wherever you want.
She heard you, Lan. She's just not ready. You're gonna have to let her go through this, hon. Can we know what's in the poem yet? No? Okay.
Is that if you stand alone with a shield, much of your body's still exposed. But if you stand in a group covering each other with your shields, nothing can touch any of you.
Shield wall!
Which is a long-winded way to say I miss you both.
Look at him being a poet.
Let's promise that come next year, the four of us will celebrate together.
The four of us?
Mikey, wherever he is. Matt will manage to stay out of trouble and join us too.
Wherever Matt is.
Celebrate together. Royale and I could meet you too in Tarvalon.
How interesting.
What do you want from me?
Yeah.
Naivety doesn't suit you.
I haven't touched that dagger in 6 months.
I see. Detox.
Maribel Steinman.
Interesting. Okay, that's a good way to cover up the fact that he was gone for a moment. But I'm sure she has an ulterior motive for why she's keeping him there and didn't just kill him. It's not like anyone would ever figure it out. Oh, is it time to let go, friend? Okay, well, we tried. That was the first step. But also, a lot of people don't have to give up the ring. You can keep the ring as a keepsake.
I'm here. I'm here with you, always.
It's always about Nynaeve's babies. Keep working, Maddie. One stone at a time. You should be out sometime before you're 50. I recognize that long head. What's up, Rand? I like that they're all experiencing this holiday as a way to kind of be connected despite the fact that they're all dispersed. Oh, setting a place for her, even though she probably won't eat there.
Want us to wait?
Yes.
Oh.
Tonight she'll come.
I love how she's like, I was really hungry and this smells amazing. But because you're hot, respectfully, I'd eat.
It only affects you if you let it, and I am unequivocally unaffected by it.
You are not her warder.
She's like, I'm just hungry, God.
It feels like the most brutal form of assault. Your body no longer feels like your own. Your mind reliving the trauma again and again, remembering what you once were and what you will never be again. Yeah. Most women die, but not.
Is this supposed to help?
Die.
Ma'am, eat.
I look at her and I see strength. More strength than any of us could possibly muster.
You better tell him.
Perhaps, instead of trying to force her to speak, it's time for you to be quiet and really listen.
Exactly. Let her come to you when she's ready.
I think that's the first time in my life someone's told me I need to be quiet.
It's the first time for everything. Exactly. Take her food. Hope she eats. Let her know that you'll be there for her for when she's ready. Good talk. Good talk. This is why it's good to have older people in your friendship circle. They offer that advice you just don't have, you know? Oh, she's going somewhere. Lan is going to be mad about this. He really doesn't like when you leave without him. Especially right now when you have no powers. No! Oh God. Maureen, why? Why would you do that? You know, running from things with teeth like that in the dark is something I just never want to experience. No, it's not over. It's gonna be right there. I can feel it. Didn't Rand have to... Oh, not Rand. Oh, good aim, sis! Not bad at all. Rand would be proud. Behind you. I don't think he's alone. They said there was two of them. He said there was two of them. Honey. That's right. I knew my baby was coming. I knew he was coming. How many of them are there? Oh, we're gonna dual wield? Okay. I mean, go, babe. You got this. No! No!
Lan!
She can seemingly see them better than he can, or can she just sense them? Oh no! My baby. No, he needs his baby to heal him. Oh God. I think it's stop.
No. No. No.
No. Make it stop. Make it stop. My baby. Stay down, baby. There's no more you can do.
Cover your ears!
I was about to say, aren't there like some other people who were in that house? I mean, he's 100 years old, but he was a warder, right? Okay, where do we get a sword like that? And why didn't Lan have one? And what took you guys so long? Respectfully, thank you. Oh, she really thought she was doing it. Oh, no, how to end it, no. Ugh, what a tense ending. I'm all clenched. Okay, guys, well, that was the season premiere of season 2. Ooh, sorry about that, hit my microphone. Of The Wheel of Time, A Taste of Solitude. And yeah, very, very interesting episode. Very, very interesting episode. We got an update on everybody for the most part. I'd say we probably saw the least from Rand, so we're not going to talk about him, but I'll kind of go through each of the characters because that's probably the easiest because we covered a lot. This was definitely a full hour. So So we have Nynaeve and Egwene who are at the tower, and they are supposed to be training under, you know, the actual order to learn how to be proper wielders of this magic. And we see that instead of them going through what we would consider to be like, I guess, proper magic training, instead they're doing regular household chores. Basically, they've been assigned to cleaning and probably cooking and taking care of all the other people who are obviously more senior in the tower. And we found out it's been about 6 months since the last season ended, and we see that Egwene is taking it, you know, I think with more grace right now, because again, she's very eager to learn how to be better at channeling and really just learn. But unsurprisingly, Nynaeve, who did not even want to be there in the first place, she is really fighting it. And we see that apparently she did not even try to use her weaves even once since getting there. But again, if you think about the last time that they all used their weaves, it was to fight off all those baddies in that town. What was that? That town that that Lan was from, remember? And then that one woman like burned up from all the power. So point being, it was pretty traumatic. So I completely understand why Nynaeve would have a little bit of trauma and a little bit of fear around using her power, because they keep saying to her over and over and over again that she's the most powerful one that they've had for the longest time. And then hearing that and then knowing that, you know, watching somebody burn up in front of you, I completely understand why she's probably a bit hesitant to let her power go again. Not to mention the fact that we see that she just has absolutely no love for this order, right? She does not like any of these people. She feels like they're the enemy still. Somewhere subconsciously, she's very resistant to this whole situation. Like, she's really just doing this because Egwene was going. And we know that since season 1, a lot of what Nynaeve has done has been in her mind to protect her kids, right? And so she's there, she's not weaving. And we see that they have one instructor who I forgot her name, but she's the green woman with two boys, basically. She's the lover, we'll call her that. And she's been primarily in charge of training them. And she's saying that, you know, basically Egwene's issue is that she's still too, she needs her to loosen up. So we saw with Egwene, she likes order, she likes things to go a certain way, and she's having a hard time, I guess, adjusting to the teachings that she's getting there. Like, for example, the lesson they were supposed to learn this episode with the 2 different types of magic that or weaves that she had to move or mix together. I'd say that Egwene's probably borderline obsessive compulsive, right? She needs to have things a certain way. She wants it to be clean. She wants it to be very easy. She wants to be able to follow a strict path. And we see that her instructor is trying to explain to her that that's not the way these things work. Like, everything in life, even nature, is not clearly delineated. There's crossings, there's mixtures, there's messiness. And so this is kind of Egwene's issues, that she's trying to do things in a way that makes sense to her and that's very orderly, but that is not the way it always works. And it seems to be holding her back. It's like she can't really move forward unless she can move forward in the way that she thinks she's supposed to move forward. Then you have on the other side, Nynaeve, who just doesn't want to use it at all, because again, she's got these emotional and mental blocks. And I think part of it is, like I said, she has no love whatsoever for the Aes Sedai, right? Since last season, we know she said it over and over again. She thinks, you know, she does not think highly of them. So there's that, I think, subconscious block. But I think she's also just very scared. She doesn't really know. She's identified herself as something her entire life, and this is challenging that. And she's still having that identity crisis, which is very fair because this is still very new. And so she won't allow herself to take the lessons in or even try to use them. And so we saw that her instructor was saying that, I don't know what we're supposed to do. Like, she's not doing anything. I'm trying. She's, you know, anytime I try to push her, she pushes back twice as hard. And then we got the red Aes Sedai, who since last season, I have not liked that woman. But her and Nynaeve did kind of seem to, I wouldn't say bond, but they definitely seem to understand each other more, because they're both, I think, of that very strong, you can't push me nature. And so she said, look, let me talk to her, let me train her. But apparently she's already had a trainee in the past, and that person didn't make it. So that's why she's not allowed to train people anymore. And I can see that. Like, she's very do or die. I push to the limit, you know, it's balls to the wall or nothing with her. And that works to a degree, but it's also very dangerous, and it's something that can break people more easily than make them. But I can see where the right kind of person could flourish under her. But I also understand why they don't want to put, you know, these fledgling girls underneath her for her to basically emotionally and physically abuse. Anyways, she does go to, but I understand, like, the points that she made when she was talking to that little, circle of people there were very valid, right? She's saying like, we are losing this war. Clearly something big is coming, and Nynaeve is like the best chance that we've had in a long time to fight against it. And we've been spinning our wheels for 6 months. So sadly, the way we're going about it is not working. So we need to do something different. And so like, she has a point there, though I don't necessarily agree with her methods, but she still said, let me at least talk to her and see if I can get her to do something. And we saw that she did approach Nynaeve, who was actually trying to do things the way that the other girl was saying. But of course, the Red Aes Sedai just basically pushed her, right? She probably recognized that every time Nynaeve has used her powers, at least that she's seen, has been, like I said, literally in a life or death situation, fight or flight, and never necessarily just for the sake of it, right? And Egwene, when we saw her use her power before, it was very like sly and calculated and kind of a smart way of using it, whereas Nynaeve's always explosive and very like forceful. But again, it's always been when her life's been in danger, or someone she cares about's been in danger. So that's exactly what the Red Aes Sedai did. She put her life in danger, and of course Nynaeve responded, particularly when she brought up Lan. My girl said, don't you talk about my man. Don't you talk about my man. And I agree, leave her man alone. But anyways, basically the Red Aes Sedai was like, you have got to get it together and figure out like what you're going to do with all this power. She's like, you're angry. There's a lot of emotion here. This is not just a block of, your hatred for us. Like there's more going on there, but you should be using those emotions to channel. Like in her mind, in her mind, she believes that there's more ways to channel than just the calm and peaceful Zen way that she's been learning. And that's true. But my issue is that anger is not a good place to wield for anything. Anger does eventually run out. And we kind of talked about that later on with Perrin and his group, but we'll get to Perrin in a minute. So anyway, that's where Nynaeve is. And I think now between that and her little chat with the other warders that she's been fighting with, who basically said to her, you need to decide why you've actually come here. You need to really define for yourself why you're there, because if you can't figure it out, they're going to beat the hell out of you, basically, right? He's like, you're going to end up dying here, if anything. Like you need to figure out why you're here, what your purpose is for being here, so you can actually push through and go through these trials, or they're going to eat you up. So moving on to Perrin. Perrin has been traveling, looking for these people who've been traveling, all these dark friends. And he's basically, I think, it's great that he's traveling with, oh gosh, I forgot the name of our ogre, but I'm sure that they're learning things from each other as they're traveling. And it seems like he's getting more in touch with whatever this animal-like connection is that he has. And he comes across somebody else that looks like he might be like him. I'm hoping we're going to see those two talk. I'm really surprised we didn't have them have a talk, but there was only so much they can fit in the episode. But we see now that he can actually use his abilities to kind of, I don't know if it's so much see the past or be able to look at the scene and put it together in his head. I'm not sure which one of it is, but yes, it seems to be evolving though. Before, the whole eye flash thing was very random, but it seems to be a bit more controlled now. So we'll see if he's actually getting a good hold on that. But yeah, we didn't get too much from him outside of saying that the closer he gets to the person who he believes is responsible for the massacre of his hometown, the more he's feeling like he's going to do something very animalistic. And we saw that soldier basically said to him, like, yeah, I understand that, but just understand, like I was saying before, that the road of revenge is very, very slippery, and that, what defines or what keeps us different from the people who do these types of things is the fact that we do remember our humanity and stop at some point. He was kind of chewing on that and marinating on that, as well as, figuring out how he moves forward. And when he made his little paper lantern, it looks like he tried to give up his ring for his wife to kind of move forward from that, because I think it's not just about the death of his wife, but just the whole trauma of what happened in his hometown. But he wasn't ready to let go of it yet, which I think tied into him saying that he's still very angry. So he put the ring back on. But when it comes to the grieving process, you really do just have to let that happen at its own pace. And hopefully he'll get there at some point. Moving on to, oh my goodness, my girl, Moiraine. Moiraine. So Moiraine is struggling really hard with losing her ability to weave. And it's understandable. Like it's like I said, and I said it in the episode, it's like her body is foreign to her now. Everything is new. She's having to relearn how to do everything. This power that she's had since she was born is now suddenly gone. She can sense it's there, but she can't touch it. So it's really hard for her, and she's really trying to process through that and what I'm assuming is sink into like the deepest of depressions. Because that's really what I'm getting from her, is that she really feels like if I let myself sink into this, I'm never coming out. And you see her constantly still trying to see if there's any way she's still connected, or any way she has just a touch of the power still, so she can, you know, build on that or bring it back somehow. But so far, 6 months in, nothing has changed. And so she's been throwing herself into work, throwing herself into research, and Lan is doing his best to try and, you know, connect with her or figure out how he can help her, but he can't, because this is something that, even though they share an emotional bond, he doesn't know what it is to weave. He doesn't know what it is for her to be, to be cut off from something like this. So I really like the message that they gave in this episode around, you know, Lan is like, I'm doing all these things, you know, she should be talking to me. Why is she not talking to me? I'm doing all the things that she should be. I'm asking her questions. And finally them having to just sit him down and be like, it's not about you, bro. Like, respectfully, you're uncomfortable with her not talking to you. It's about you, your discomfort. You're not thinking about the fact that she's going through a lot right now. She's going through a lot right now, and she's trying to heal, and she does not have the capacity right now to do that. Keep moving one foot in front of the other, both figuratively and literally, and manage your feelings. You know what I mean? So I love that they basically said, stop being such a man and recognize that it's not always about you, and that what she needs you to do is just wait. I think he finally got the lesson when it was all said and done. So yes, they're gonna have to work through that. But then we saw at the end that she has figured out that there are these dark, I don't even know, it was this weird kind of Voldemort looking things that are out there chasing people. I think she went out to see where they were, but without her powers, she was very, very vulnerable and ended up getting hurt pretty badly. Lan, of course, who figured out she was gone and followed her immediately, ended up getting hurt pretty badly. They managed to stop them, but just barely. And so I don't know what this means to see that there's so many of them and that they're closing in on this space, but I gotta think it's bad news for them and possibly for other people who are in this area. Probably a lot more to do with this Dark One and what he's planning. Yeah, I almost forgot about the opening scene with the little girl and the Trollocs. And there's a man that we were introduced to. He seems to be at a round table with a lot of other men. Clearly, there's been some communications happening. We did hear from the Red Aes Sedai that there is another false prophet who's risen and who's claiming that he's the one, but they said he's even more powerful than Logain. So my guess is it was probably the guy that we were introduced to, who was talking to the little girl, basically saying all that stuff about how Trollocs are just misunderstood, half men, half beasts. You just need to pet them on the face and they'll be nice to you. I do wonder, though, who that girl is, though, because it doesn't seem like that's her father. So, yeah, I don't know. I thought he definitely was going to feed the kid to the Trolloc, and that may still happen. But anyway, I'm wondering if that guy is going to be our baddie of the season, or at least some of the season. But I'm curious to find out more about who he is and how he knows what's going on with Rand. I feel like we might possibly encounter everybody who's at that table at some point, and they're probably somebody who in the books is like a group maybe that's working with the Dark One or whatever. Finally, we'll go on to Mat. We now know where Mat's been. Mat's been locked up by the Red Aes Sedai this whole time. She's been keeping him there because, of course, he had wielded that dagger with the dark magic in it, and we saw that he was having a hard time detaching from it last season. So the dagger's gone, but, you know, I think initially she made it sound like she kept him there to make sure he wasn't going to go after it again. But now she clearly has ulterior motives because she's reading the letters that he's sending to, that parents sending to the other girls and stuff. So my guess is that the Red Aes Sedai knows that there's something, I think she's figured out, much like Moraine did, that there's something very special about this group of kids, right? Including Mat. But yes, now at least we know what's going on with him. And then we just saw a glimpse of Rand. We just know that he's out there traveling. He is still okay. And he was celebrating the same festival as everybody else. But he literally had like 2 seconds in the entire episode. So yeah, great start to the season. It very much made me want to just hurry up and get into the next episode so we can start seeing where things are going to go and how we're going to progress. But we're just going to have to wait until next time. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and we will see you in the next video.